Good morning/afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to be here with you today to speak about something that lies at the very heart of our personal growth and fulfillment, our sense of self-worth. It's easy to get caught up in the external pressures of life, the expectations of others, the need for validation, the constant striving for more. But the truth is, the most important relationship we will ever have is the one with ourselves. How we see ourselves shapes everything we experience in life. It influences the choices we make, the people we allow into our lives, and how we show up in the world. Today, I want to talk about the incredible power of understanding and embracing our own worth, not because we need to earn it, but because it's inherent in who we are. Self-worth is not something we need to prove to anyone, nor is it something that can be defined by the opinions of others. It is something that comes from within. It's about recognizing that we are worthy of love, respect, and success, simply because we exist. So let's explore what it means to truly cultivate and honor our self-worth, and how doing so can transform not only how we see ourselves, but how we live our lives. You are worthy of true belonging, and this truth is one of the most liberating things you can realize in your life. The world often convinces us that belonging is something we have to earn, that it's something we must fight for. We're taught that if we're not constantly working to prove our worth to others, then we don't deserve to be included. Whether it's in our relationships, our friendships, or in our communities, we can sometimes fall into the trap of thinking that our value is measured by how much we sacrifice for the acceptance of others. But this is a lie we need to unlearn. The first and most essential step toward true belonging is understanding that you are already enough. You don't need to bend yourself into someone else's mold to fit in, nor should you ever feel that you have to become someone you're not to be loved or accepted. The belief that you need to prove yourself to be valuable is rooted in shame, a toxic force that tells you that you are not enough as you are. But let me tell you this, you are enough. Your thoughts, your feelings, your presence, they matter. You don't need to keep changing or proving yourself to fit into a world that should be welcoming of who you already are. When we talk about belonging, we are often talking about a deep need to feel seen, heard, and valued by others. We want to feel that our presence adds meaning, that we matter to the people around us. This is a universal need. We all long for connection, for affirmation, for the warmth of knowing that we belong to something larger than ourselves. But here's the thing that most people overlook. True belonging can never come from a place of trying to make yourself into something you're not. It cannot thrive in an environment where you're constantly in the business of proving your worth or chasing after others' approval. If you are constantly looking for someone to tell you that you are enough, you will exhaust yourself. You will leave pieces of yourself behind, trying to become who you think others want you to be, and in the process, you'll lose sight of who you truly are. True belonging is about authenticity. It's about showing up in the world exactly as you are, flaws, imperfections, and all, and knowing that you are worthy of being loved, valued, and included. It's about letting go of the fear that you aren't enough and instead embracing the truth that you are already worthy of belonging simply because you exist. This doesn't mean that you won't experience rejection or that everyone will accept you for who you are. In fact, rejection is a part of life and it doesn't define your worth. The important thing is that rejection doesn't diminish who you are. It doesn't change your inherent value. It simply means that not everyone will understand you, or not everyone is capable of appreciating you for all that you bring to the table, and that's okay. When you start living from a place of knowing that you are worthy of true belonging, something extraordinary happens. You stop trying to fit in and you start standing out. You begin to attract the people, the experiences, and the opportunities that truly align with who you are at your core. People will start to see you for your authenticity, and that is when the magic happens. You begin to form deeper, more meaningful connections, not with people who just tolerate you, but with those who truly appreciate you for all that you are. You will find your tribe, not the people you have to chase after or convince of your worth, but the ones who choose to walk beside you because they see you, they understand you, and they value you. The truth is, belonging is not something you can force. It is not something you can manufacture through effort or through compromising your values. Belonging comes naturally when you stop chasing after the wrong people, the wrong situations, and the wrong approval. It comes when you finally embrace the fact that you are enough as you are, and when you stop seeking validation from others to fill the void inside. Because once you understand that you belong to yourself first and that you are worthy of all the love and respect you seek, you'll no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone. You'll no longer feel like you have to work harder or be someone you're not just to be accepted. This shift is a powerful one. When you stop fighting for the approval of others, you begin to honor your own worth. You begin to make choices based on your values rather than on what others expect from you. You stop people pleasing and you start living with intention. You set boundaries that protect your energy and your time, and you let go of relationships and situations that drain you. You will start attracting the right people into your life, the ones who truly support you, encourage you, and love you for who you are. And remember, true belonging does not mean being liked by everyone. It means being liked by the people who matter, the ones who appreciate you for your individuality, your quirks, your passions, your strengths, and your flaws. It means being surrounded by people who accept you without expectation, without judgment, and without the need for you to change. These are the people who will walk beside you in life, not because they have to, but because they want to. And they want to because they see you, they understand you, and they love you exactly as you are. So never doubt your worth. You are worthy of love, of respect, of deep connection, and of true belonging. And you do not have to earn it. You already have it within you. All you need to do is stop seeking it outside yourself and start embracing your own innate value. When you do, you'll find that the world will start to mirror that worth back to you in ways you never imagined possible. Real connections don't require begging. This is a fundamental truth that many of us struggle to accept. We often find ourselves in situations where we're desperately trying to make someone see our worth, trying to prove that we deserve a place in their life. We chase after their attention, try to adapt to their needs, and even silence our own desires and dreams to fit into the spaces they create. But the truth is simple. If someone truly values you, they won't make you beg for their time or their love. The idea that you have to beg or plead for someone to choose you is rooted in insecurity and fear. It's a cycle that reinforces the belief that we are not enough as we are and that we must prove our worth to others in order to be loved. But this way of thinking is not only exhausting, it is also a clear signal that you're investing in relationships that are unbalanced and unhealthy. A relationship that requires constant convincing is not one that will nourish you or bring you joy. It will leave you drained, frustrated, and feeling unappreciated. In any meaningful relationship, whether it's romantic, familial, or friendship, the foundation should be mutual respect, trust, and effort. Both individuals should show up for one another. Both should feel valued, heard, and cared for. If you are in a situation where you are continually chasing someone, trying to earn their affection or approval, you are not in a partnership of equals. You are in a dynamic where one person holds all the power and you are left in the position of begging for scraps. This creates an unhealthy power imbalance that often leads to one person feeling overlooked, rejected, and unimportant. Begging for attention, affection, or validation is not only emotionally draining, it's also demeaning. When you chase after someone or something, you give up your power. You diminish your own self-worth and put yourself in a position where you depend on someone else to decide your value. This is not the way true love or friendship operates. Real love and genuine friendship require no convincing. They are rooted in mutual respect and understanding. When someone truly wants you in their life, you will know. You will not have to beg for their time, their care, or their attention because they will give it freely and without hesitation. This is why it's so important to recognize when you are in situations where you're putting in more effort than the other person. When the other party isn't making any effort or only offering a half-hearted version of themselves, it's a clear sign that they are not emotionally invested in the relationship. They may care about you, but they are not fully committed to showing up in the way you deserve. And that is something you need to accept, no matter how painful it may feel. It's important to understand that someone's lack of effort or interest is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their inability or unwillingness to meet you halfway. One of the most difficult lessons to learn is that we cannot change other people. We cannot make someone value us, just as we cannot force someone to care for us in the way we wish. No amount of pleading, convincing, or sacrificing will make someone treat you the way you deserve to be treated. Love, friendship, and connection are not transactions. They should not be based on a system of rewards and efforts. These relationships should be rooted in a genuine desire to connect and support one another without manipulation or guilt. If you find yourself in a position where you are constantly giving more than you're receiving, it's time to reassess the relationship. A healthy relationship is a two-way street. It requires effort, commitment, and an equal exchange of care, understanding, and respect. If you are giving and giving, but the other person is taking without offering anything in return, it's a sign that the connection is not balanced. It's time to stop chasing someone who is not meeting your emotional needs and instead focus on those who are genuinely interested in being part of your life. You are worthy of relationships that nourish you. You deserve to be with people who value your time, your emotions, and your presence. You do not need to beg for these things. Real love and friendship do not come with conditions. They are not based on what you can do for someone else or how much you can prove your worth. They are based on the simple truth that you are a person of value, and those who care about you will demonstrate that through their actions, not their words. It's also important to note that relationships are dynamic and they evolve over time. Sometimes we may find ourselves in a place where one person's efforts begin to fall short, and that's okay. People change, grow, and sometimes move in different directions. But in those moments, we must remind ourselves that we are not failures. We are simply learning to recognize the type of connections that are worth our time and energy. And in doing so, we free ourselves from the exhaustion of chasing after people who are not truly invested in us. If someone wants you in their life, they will show up. They will make the effort to reach out to you, to check on you, and to support you. You won't have to beg for their attention or affection because they will offer it freely. And if you find yourself in relationships where this isn't happening, it's a sign that you deserve better. You are not meant to spend your life chasing after anyone. You are meant to be surrounded by people who see your worth and appreciate it without you having to prove it over and over again. Stop begging for attention, affection, or love. Start setting boundaries that honor your own worth. Let go of the belief that you have to chase someone to earn their care or affection. Real connections will never require that of you. Instead, they will flow naturally and effortlessly with both parties giving and receiving in harmony. And that, my friend, is the kind of relationship that will fill your life with joy, fulfillment, and peace. Rejection is redirection. This is a powerful mindset shift that can transform the way we experience setbacks in our relationships and our lives. We all face rejection at some point, whether it's from a job, a friendship, a romantic relationship, or a community. It stings. It feels personal. It often leads us to question our worth and wonder what went wrong. But instead of seeing rejection as something that diminishes us, we can choose to view it as an opportunity for growth, a moment where life is guiding us in a direction that better aligns with who we are and where we are meant to be. When we are rejected, our initial reaction is often one of hurt, confusion, and self-doubt. We might spend days, weeks, or even months trying to understand why it happened, replaying the scenario over and over in our minds, searching for clues or reasons that explain the outcome. We may even internalize the rejection and begin to believe that it's a reflection of our inadequacy or that we are somehow unworthy. But this mindset can trap us in a cycle of self-pity and stagnation. We begin to close ourselves off from new possibilities and new opportunities simply because we cannot let go of the pain of rejection. However, what if we shifted our perspective and viewed rejection not as something that diminishes us, but as something that redirects us towards something better? What if we believed that rejection was simply life's way of telling us that we are not meant to walk down that particular path, and that there is a more suitable, fulfilling path waiting for us? Rejection in this light becomes a form of protection, not punishment. It's an opportunity to step away from situations, people, or opportunities that may not align with our values or our purpose. This shift in perspective is especially important in relationships. Rejection in love or friendship can feel deeply personal, as though it speaks to who we are at our core. But the reality is that rejection often has little to do with our worth and everything to do with the other person's capacity, readiness, or circumstances. Just because someone doesn't choose to be with you or a friendship fades does not mean you are any less valuable. It simply means that the relationship was not the right fit for you at that moment in time. One of the most difficult aspects of rejection is the feeling of uncertainty it brings. When we invest our time, emotions, and energy into something, whether it's a relationship, a job, or a goal, we naturally hope for a positive outcome. So when rejection occurs, it's not just the loss of that particular situation that hurts, but the feeling of uncertainty about what comes next. We fear the unknown. We fear that we won't find something better, that the rejection is a sign of failure, or that we won't ever experience the love, success, or connection that we desire. But here's the thing, uncertainty is not our enemy. In fact, it's often a sign that something new is waiting to unfold. When we release the grip on what we thought we wanted and embrace the unknown, we create space for something more aligned with who we are becoming. Rejection opens the door to new experiences, new connections, and new growth. It helps us let go of what was never meant for us and allows us to make room for what is truly meant to be in our lives. Think of rejection as a course correction. In the same way that a plane adjusts its route in response to changing conditions, rejection can be seen as a redirection towards something more fulfilling. Maybe the job you didn't get wasn't the right fit for your skills or your values. Maybe the relationship that didn't work out wasn't the person you were meant to share your life with. And maybe the friendships that faded were simply a sign that those connections had run their course. Rather than viewing these experiences as failures, we can choose to see them as stepping stones toward a more authentic and meaningful future. In this context, rejection becomes less of an obstacle and more of a guide, pointing us toward the opportunities that will better support our growth and well-being. Every time we face rejection, we are invited to reassess what we truly want and need and to make adjustments to our course. Rejection gives us the chance to align ourselves with people, opportunities, and experiences that are more in tune with our authentic selves. It's important to remember that rejection is not the end, it is simply a part of the journey. Life is full of twists and turns, and every no we encounter brings us one step closer to a yes that will be more fulfilling and meaningful. This is where resilience comes into play, the ability to bounce back from rejection, to keep moving forward despite setbacks, is one of the most empowering skills we can develop. Resilience allows us to trust that even when things don't go as planned, we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. It teaches us to keep faith in the process and in the belief that the universe has a way of guiding us toward the right opportunities. Rather than allowing rejection to define us or hold us back, we can choose to use it as fuel for personal growth. It's a reminder that we are strong enough to handle disappointment and that we are worthy of more than what was lost. Rejection allows us to refine our vision, to clarify our values, and to reassess the choices we are making in our lives. It gives us the chance to reset, to refocus, and to continue moving forward with a greater sense of purpose. Ultimately, rejection is not a reflection of our worth. It is simply a redirection, a signpost pointing us in the direction of something better. If we allow ourselves to embrace this mindset, we can stop viewing rejection as something to fear and instead begin to see it as a tool for growth. Every rejection is an opportunity to refine our path, realign with our true selves, and discover new avenues for joy, connection, and fulfillment. And when we can view rejection this way, it no longer holds power over us. Instead, it becomes a stepping stone to the life we are truly meant to live. Embracing your authenticity is one of the most empowering actions you can take in life. So often we are told to fit into molds, to be what others expect of us, or to conform to societal standards of success, beauty, and happiness. From a young age, we are bombarded with messages about who we should be, what we should look like, and how we should behave in order to be accepted or loved. The pressure to meet these expectations can be overwhelming, leading many of us to suppress parts of ourselves in order to fit in. But the truth is, the only way to experience true connection and fulfillment is by embracing who you truly are without apology or compromise. Your authenticity is your greatest gift. It is what makes you unique and irreplaceable in a world full of imitation. When you embrace your authentic self, you free yourself from the burden of trying to be someone else. You allow yourself to show up in the world as you are, without fear of judgment or rejection. You stop pretending to be perfect or conforming to an image of who you think you should be, and instead, you step into the power of who you actually are. This process of embracing your authenticity can be both liberating and challenging. It requires vulnerability, courage, and a willingness to let go of the protective masks we often wear. It means accepting that not everyone will understand you or agree with you, and that's okay. Your worth is not defined by others' perceptions of you. It is defined by your ability to be true to yourself, to live in alignment with your values, and to honor your own unique voice. Living authentically is not about being perfect, it's about being real. It's about showing up as your full, messy, imperfect self without apologizing for it. Too often, we feel the need to hide parts of ourselves because we fear rejection or judgment. We put on facades to fit in, to be accepted, or to avoid conflict. But when we do this, we deny ourselves the opportunity to truly connect with others. Real connection can only happen when we are willing to show our true selves, even if that means exposing our vulnerabilities, our insecurities, or our imperfections. When you begin to embrace your authenticity, you start to attract the people who are truly meant for you. The right people will appreciate you for who you are, not for the person you're pretending to be. Authentic connections are built on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. When you are true to yourself, you invite others to do the same, creating an environment where honesty and vulnerability can flourish. You no longer have to hide or conform. You can simply be yourself and allow the right relationships to develop naturally. It's important to remember that embracing your authenticity doesn't mean disregarding the feelings or needs of others. Being authentic is not about being selfish or inconsiderate. It's about honoring your own truth while respecting the truths of others. It's about being honest with yourself and others about who you are, what you want, and what you value. When you communicate from a place of authenticity, you build stronger, more meaningful relationships based on mutual understanding and respect. However, embracing authenticity also means setting boundaries. It means recognizing when something or someone is no longer serving you and having the courage to walk away. It means not settling for relationships or situations that ask you to compromise who you are. Authenticity requires you to honor your own needs, desires, and emotions, and to protect your well-being by creating space for only the things and people that support your growth. One of the greatest benefits of embracing your authenticity is the sense of inner peace and freedom that comes with it. When you stop trying to live up to others' expectations, you release yourself from the constant pressure to be something you're not. You no longer have to play a role or wear a mask to fit in. Instead, you can focus on what truly matters to you, your passions, your values, your purpose, and the things that make you feel alive. Living authentically allows you to step into your full potential. It gives you the courage to pursue your dreams, to take risks, and to go after the things that truly light you up. When you are aligned with who you truly are, the world opens up to you in ways you never imagined. You stop limiting yourself by the constraints of what others think you should do or be, and instead, you follow the path that feels right for you. You begin to create a life that is not based on external validation or approval, but on your own inner guidance and desires. This journey of embracing authenticity is not always easy. There will be times when you face resistance from others or even from within yourself. You might feel fear, doubt, or insecurity. You may worry about being rejected, judged, or misunderstood. But remember, these feelings are a natural part of the process. They are the growing pains that come with breaking free from the constraints of who you thought you should be and stepping into the fullness of who you truly are. The more you embrace your authenticity, the more you will begin to attract experiences, opportunities, and people that align with your true self. You will start to find yourself in environments where you can thrive, where you are supported and celebrated for who you are. When you stop trying to be everything for everyone, you make space for the things that truly matter. You begin to create a life that reflects your true desires, not the expectations of others. At the end of the day, living authentically is about honoring your uniqueness and trusting that you are enough just as you are. You don't need to change or hide parts of yourself to be loved or accepted. The right people will appreciate you for your individuality, and the right opportunities will find you when you are aligned with your true self. Embrace who you are, and the world will respond with the love, connection, and fulfillment you deserve. Letting go of what no longer serves you is a powerful and often necessary step in creating space for new opportunities, experiences, and growth. As we move through life, we accumulate various things, beliefs, habits, relationships, and situations that no longer align with our highest good. These are the things that weigh us down, hold us back, or keep us stuck in cycles that prevent us from moving forward. Letting go of them is not about rejecting our past or forgetting what we've learned. It is about recognizing when it's time to release what no longer serves us so we can make room for the things that will support our growth, healing, and happiness. At its core, letting go is an act of self-care and self-respect. It's about understanding that we are worthy of better, that we deserve to be surrounded by things, people, and experiences that nurture us, uplift us, and bring us peace. Too often, we hold on to things out of fear, guilt, or obligation. We fear the unknown, we fear change, and we fear letting go because we are attached to the familiar, even if it no longer serves our well-being. We may feel guilty about walking away from relationships or situations, even when we know deep down that they are no longer healthy or fulfilling. But the truth is, clinging to what no longer serves us only keeps us stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction and frustration. When we hold on to people or situations that no longer align with who we are, we diminish our own potential. We prevent ourselves from growing and evolving into the person we are meant to be. The relationships, situations, and beliefs that no longer serve us keep us tethered to the past, and they drain our energy, resources, and focus. This prevents us from stepping into the future with an open heart and an open mind. Letting go is about releasing those ties so we can embrace the opportunities and experiences that are truly in alignment with who we are becoming. One of the most powerful ways to let go is by recognizing when a relationship or situation is no longer a source of support or growth. We may hold on to relationships because we fear loneliness or because we feel a sense of obligation, but relationships that drain us, manipulate us, or keep us stuck in patterns of negativity do not contribute to our growth or happiness. It can be difficult to walk away from people we've known for a long time, but it's important to ask ourselves whether these relationships are lifting us up or pulling us down. Are they helping us grow or are they keeping us small? Are they supportive or are they draining our energy? Letting go of toxic or unfulfilling relationships is not a reflection of our inability to love or care for others. It is a reflection of our desire to honor ourselves and protect our well-being. It's about recognizing that we deserve to be surrounded by people who support us, who encourage us, and who challenge us to be the best version of ourselves. Sometimes the most loving thing we can do for ourselves and for others is to let go, create space, and move on. Similarly, letting go of old beliefs and thought patterns that no longer serve us is a key aspect of growth. We all carry beliefs about ourselves, others, and the world that were formed early in life, often based on our upbringing, our experiences, or the messages we receive from society. These beliefs can shape our perceptions and influence the choices we make. But over time, some of these beliefs may no longer be relevant or accurate. We may hold on to limiting beliefs about our worth, our potential, or our ability to succeed. We may believe that we are not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough to achieve our dreams. These beliefs can be deeply ingrained, and letting go of them can be challenging. But it's essential to recognize that these beliefs are not truths. They are simply stories we've told ourselves, often based on fear or past experiences. Letting go of these limiting beliefs requires us to be willing to challenge the stories we've been telling ourselves. It involves acknowledging that we are not defined by our past or our mistakes. We are not limited by the beliefs we've carried with us for years. We have the power to rewrite the stories of our lives, to let go of the beliefs that hold us back, and to embrace new ones that empower us to step into our full potential. It takes courage to question the beliefs that have shaped our identity and to release those that no longer serve us, but it is one of the most liberating acts of self-love we can perform. Letting go also involves releasing habits and patterns that no longer contribute to our well-being. We all have habits, some good, some not so good, that shape the way we live our lives. Sometimes we hold on to unhealthy habits because they are familiar or because they provide a temporary sense of comfort or security. But unhealthy habits, such as procrastination, negative self-talk, or staying in our comfort zones, can prevent us from reaching our full potential. Letting go of these habits requires us to be honest with ourselves about their impact and to commit to making healthier choices. It may not be easy, but it is necessary for our growth and progress. One of the most profound aspects of letting go is the realization that we cannot control everything. We cannot control the actions of others, the outcomes of situations, or the course of events. All we can control is how we respond. Letting go is an act of surrender. It is about accepting that there are things beyond our control and trusting that everything is unfolding as it is meant to. Sometimes we hold on to situations or outcomes because we are afraid of uncertainty or because we feel the need to fix things. But often the best thing we can do is to let go and trust that life will unfold in its own way. Letting go is a practice of faith, of trusting that things are happening for our highest good, even if we cannot see the full picture in the moment. Ultimately, letting go is about creating space for new opportunities and experiences to enter our lives. It is about releasing what no longer serves us so that we can make room for what does. It is a powerful act of self-love, one that allows us to align ourselves with our highest potential and to step into the life we are meant to live. It requires courage, vulnerability, and trust, but it is one of the most empowering actions we can take on our journey of growth and self-discovery. By letting go, we free ourselves from the past and create the space to move forward with open hearts and open minds, ready to embrace all that life has to offer. Self-worth is the foundation of everything we experience in life. It is the lens through which we view the world, the way we interact with others, and the way we navigate the challenges that come our way. Our sense of self-worth determines how we treat ourselves and how we allow others to treat us. It influences the decisions we make, the boundaries we set, and the relationships we form. If we don't believe we are worthy of love, respect, and success, we will struggle to attract and maintain those things. On the other hand, when we cultivate a deep sense of self-worth, we create the conditions for a life filled with joy, connection, and fulfillment. The first step toward building healthy self-worth is recognizing that it is not something that can be earned or validated by external sources. So often, we look to others to confirm our value. We seek validation from our partners, friends, family, or colleagues, hoping that their praise and approval will fill the empty spaces within us. But the truth is, external validation is temporary and fleeting. It is based on the opinions and judgments of others, which are often shaped by their own biases, experiences, and insecurities. If we rely on others to define our worth, we give away our power and allow external forces to dictate how we feel about ourselves. True self-worth comes from within. It is an internal knowing that we are valuable simply because we exist. We don't need to prove our worth to anyone, nor do we need to seek permission to be who we are. Our value is intrinsic, and it is not dependent on our achievements, appearance, or the approval of others. It is not something we have to earn or prove. It is something we simply need to acknowledge and embrace. When we recognize our inherent worth, we stop seeking validation from external sources and begin to trust our own inner knowing. Cultivating self-worth requires self-awareness and self-compassion. We must be willing to look inward and confront any negative beliefs or stories we may have internalized about ourselves. These beliefs often stem from childhood experiences, societal expectations, or past failures. They can be deeply ingrained and may cause us to doubt our abilities or question our value. But these beliefs are not truths. They are simply the result of conditioning, and they can be unlearned. Self-compassion is an essential aspect of cultivating self-worth. We must learn to treat ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and patience that we would offer to a friend. Too often, we are our own harshest critics, holding ourselves to unrealistic standards and beating ourselves up over mistakes or shortcomings. But self-worth is not about perfection. It is about accepting ourselves as we are, flaws and all. When we practice self-compassion, we give ourselves permission to be imperfect, to make mistakes, and to grow without judgment. We recognize that our worth is not contingent on being flawless, but rather on being human. Another important aspect of building self-worth is setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. Boundaries are a reflection of how we value ourselves and how we expect to be treated by others. When we have strong boundaries, we communicate our needs, desires, and limits clearly and assertively. We protect our energy, time, and emotional well-being by saying no to things that drain us or violate our values. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and self-care. It signals to ourselves and others that we deserve to be treated with dignity and kindness. When we lack boundaries or allow others to overstep them, we send the message that we are not worthy of respect or consideration. We may tolerate toxic relationships, accept behavior that undermines our self-esteem, or overextend ourselves in ways that deplete our energy. This can erode our sense of self-worth over time. By contrast, when we set clear and firm boundaries, we affirm our worth and teach others how to treat us. We create space for relationships and experiences that nurture us and support our growth. It's also essential to recognize that self-worth is not based on comparison to others. In a world where social media and external appearances often drive our sense of value, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. We may look at someone else's success, achievements, or appearance and feel inadequate or less than. But comparison is the thief of joy and the enemy of self-worth. Every person's journey is unique, and we all have our own path to follow. Our worth is not determined by how we measure up to others. It is determined by our own inherent value as human beings. Building self-worth also requires letting go of the fear of rejection or failure. So many of us are afraid to pursue our dreams or put ourselves out there because we fear we won't be accepted or will be criticized or judged. But rejection and failure are not reflections of our worth. They are simply part of the learning process. Every successful person has faced rejection and failure at some point. What sets them apart is their ability to continue moving forward in spite of it. When we release the fear of failure and embrace the possibility of growth, we give ourselves permission to take risks, make mistakes, and try again. As we build our self-worth, we must also learn to celebrate our achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Too often, we brush aside our accomplishments or downplay our successes because we feel we haven't done enough or that others have done more. But every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Recognizing and celebrating these wins helps reinforce our sense of worth and reminds us that we are capable of achieving great things. When we take the time to acknowledge our progress, we build confidence and strengthen our belief in our abilities. Self-worth is not a destination. It is an ongoing process of growth, self-acceptance, and self-love. It requires daily practice, patience, and commitment. It requires us to consistently challenge negative beliefs, set healthy boundaries, and treat ourselves with kindness and compassion. As we cultivate self-worth, we begin to attract people, experiences, and opportunities that are in alignment with our value. We start to live in a way that reflects our deepest desires, passions, and purpose, and we move through life with the confidence and resilience to navigate whatever challenges come our way. When we truly know our worth, we step into our power and live a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and deeply aligned with who we are.